Hey guys, this is Miss Chester. Welcome back to our second part of the Genetic Tech Notes. In the previous section, we talked about what exactly genetic tech was and a little bit about the process. This time we're going to go a little bit more into detail. I've already told you about how genetically modified organisms can help make our crops better, but let's go a little bit more into exactly how. Look at this picture of corn here. You see the picture on the right versus the one on the left? This corn on the right has a Bt gene that's inserted to help resist pests. The one on the left does not. Which one are you more likely to buy from the store? Farmers are able to use this scientific procedure to get corn that grows better without having pests eat away at their products. And it looks gross too. Also, soybeans that farmers grow have a new gene. It's not really that new anymore, but a new availability to have Roundup Ready crops. What we do is we spray Roundup, which kills normally all weeds and everything. But the Roundup Ready gene can be inserted into the soybeans so that when you spray it on the soybeans, it won't kill it. So farmers can plant their soybeans, and at a certain time they can spray Roundup all over that field, and nothing else but the soybeans will come up. You see the difference in these pictures? The one on the left has a ton of weeds versus the one on the right has none. The Roundup Ready gene has helped farmers be able to plant more in a certain acre because it's not in competition with the weeds as the other picture shows. Now look at this picture here. This uses the Bt corn example, but really you can look at this picture and take whatever gene that a scientist wanted, and it's basically the same example that's going on. So, the top left, you see the gene, the Bt gene that we want. It's cut out. With the same restriction enzymes, the corn, as it stands, this normal corn, it is also cut out, that gene. We then take the Bt gene that was cut and place it into the corn, as you can see in the bottom right, to now have corn that has the Bt gene there. Do the same thing with Roundup Ready. We can do things with a gene that would make things grow better, a gene that would make color more vivid so that consumers would want it. Remember that farmers have to make money, and they're going to make more money if they can produce more and it looks better. People actually buy it. So that's how genetic technology is helping us there. And now it's time for a little bit of notes. We've been talking a lot about crops and about agriculture, but let's talk a little bit more about animals. Let's talk about cloning. Cloning in genetic tech is very, very big. We've cloned things. You can clone plants just as well as you can clone animals, but we have a really cool success story that you need to know about if you don't know already. But before we get too far into it, let me just go ahead and tell you, cloning is not like you see on TV. It's not like if I want to be cloned, then all of a sudden there's an exact copy of me standing right beside of me. But there is one thing that Hollywood does get right. Cloning does create an identical copy of whatever organism that you're cloning. In order to do it, though, you must have a host organism to provide the cell. So, if I was going to be cloned, I would provide some sort of cell, somatic cell, so skin or something, for us to use. The nucleus of that cell is then put into the donor egg cell whose nucleus has already been removed. The egg is now chemically stimulated to act as if it has been fertilized. So the whole process of cloning has to mimic fertilization or reproduction, because it's going to make a baby. Not a person that's my age, it's going to make a brand new baby after we're done. Alright, so after it's stimulated, if it works, the cell will begin to develop and it will form a mass of cells, which is known as a blastocyst. Then, the blastocyst is implanted into a surrogate female, and then she will give birth. Alright, and if you look here, we've used the sheep as an example, and this is exactly how it happened. Alright, this is the sheep that we're going to clone. Alright, this sheep here, all she did was give an egg that we removed the nucleus from. So it's basically just an egg that can hold something. It's empty, an empty egg. Alright, she gave a mammary cell, which is why her name is Dolly, after Dolly Parton. If you don't get it, you won't get it. But anyways, this mammary cell is a diploid. Alright, so instead of like a regular over here, this sheep, her egg cell would have been a haploid. And they removed the nucleus so it's nothing. But normally you have your egg and your sperm, and they're both haploids to make a diploid. Well, this one's already a diploid because it's a mammary cell. Alright, this diploid is then put into the empty egg. Alright, it is then stimulated, and it will create the blastocyst, which will then be implanted into a surrogate ewe, which is a female version of a sheep. This ewe has nothing to do with the baby that she's going to have birth to. She's not kin to it. She didn't do anything to create this baby. Alright? This baby is a direct copy of this sheep. So it will look just like this sheep did when it was born. Alright, so it's really neat, and this definitely happened, and we know that we can do this. And the question is should we clone or should we not? You know, if you clone animals for testing purposes, maybe we could cure cancer, but, you know, is that fair to them? If we clone cows and other animals, could we increase our food supply? Or would it cause an actual crop shortage? Is it ethical to do this? Are humans next? Most countries do have laws banning humans from being cloned, but some countries do allow for the research as long as the egg is never implanted into a surrogate mother. So, what is your opinion? What's your thoughts? Think about it. We're going to have a talk about this in class. If at any point you got confused about the process, it's alright. Just pause it, go back, and look at it again.